Okay, so this is a video for my other playlist where I normally just make a statement about things going on in the world which I just don't believe anymore, which I've looked into. Things that some of you won't agree with, so straight away I'm telling you that if you were after something to do with megalithics, then it's nothing to do with my normal work and my normal playlist. So if you don't want to listen, you best turn off now, because we're going to look into something. Well, there's a intercontinental ballistic missiles, and I'm making this because I'm sick of the bullshit, the garbage. I keep walking past TVs, especially at work, and I keep hearing the rhetoric about this North Korea and these supposed nuclear weapons. I don't think I've got into nuclear weapons yet, but I know many of you know that nukes don't exist, right? And if some of you think that's a ridiculous statement, then it's just because you have literally not looked into it with an open mind, or at all. Because if you go back and look at the explosions yourself from the 1950s, 1960s, with an open mind, you will see that it looks like you're watching Button Moon. Because as we've moved on with our technology, our CGI, our movie making has got a lot better since the days when they faked the moon landings, right? This is just to show this. All developed nations end up going through this show, and it's basically for their own people. What it is, what this is, they all do it. It's right now you've got a powerful government, and we're going to stay in power, and we're going to rule over you, and we're powerful, and we've got these weapons. These things are going nowhere. They'll look exactly the same as the stuff that they roll out in Russia and Pakistan and India and all that. It's just a show. Okay, so that's where we're going. And all these nations know about it. All these nations know that nukes are fake, because they have to do. Because most of these nations are fake in space as well, which I have got into already. Because space is fake, and any space agency is fake in space, and what space is meant to be, right? And that also all these nations are defending Antarctica, the end of this realm, from anybody listening to this video. So it's just a show, isn't it? The world is a stage, but I'm not playing part in it anymore, and that's what it's about. It's just me logging my thoughts down, so the controllers of this world, or whoever they are, the Matrix, I don't care what it is, I just don't believe the bullshit, the garbage, the rhetoric. This thing here that looks like it's from the 1950s, look at it, can destroy an entire city and much more. Look at it. So the people that told you that this guy's let off 5 nuclear explosions, which would probably, if nukes were real and what we told about them, would poison the entire land and water supply of this nation. Okay, so even if these were, these rumblings were real, they've been done by normal explosives, or it's just a simulation done by our computers. Well, it's just fake, isn't it? So if you don't like what I say, you can get into it, because what I'm getting at, look, those bombs I've showed you, this is about the size of an explosion that missiles can do, the largest missiles that we've got, yeah? That's all. Right. Intercontinental ballistic missiles. What I'm getting at is that these things are meant to be able to fly across continents. But these things have got no wings like a plane have, yes. And they actually carry less fuel. In fact, these things would not go very far at all, because they are just like a firework. This technology has not changed since the 1950s, 1940s even. Once you set these things going, they just keep blasting away. They have to do to stay straight, because there's no wings on these things. So they have to go full throttle until they run out of fuel, and then they come down, right? And I do know the argument against that is because they will say, well, they go into out of space. But I've just said space is fake. There is no vacuum living alongside our atmosphere just magically, right? And even if it was real, how could this thing, which anything goes over 1,000 miles an hour, heats all this metal up and would just rip it to pieces, right? So to go into what they call space at 17,000 miles an hour and then just come back into our atmosphere, what damage do you think that would do? Even if rockets did actually work in a vacuum, which they've got no test to show you because they don't. Even putting this tin can inside a vacuum would squash it to nothing. But a vacuum doesn't exist anywhere. So again, yes, I know that I'm only presenting a thought experiment here, because what else could I do? Do you think I'm going to start going into, you know, papers that's been written on this stuff that just backs anything up on the paradigm that these things can do what they say that they do? It would be like me going into the 9/11 commission that said that 9/11 went down as we was told, when clearly it didn't. But yet you can go find papers on it that tell you that it does. These things can't fly thousands of miles. I don't care what they say.